Today is finally the day that we talk about the difference between Londoners and New Yorkers. This has been my most requested video ever, so let's talk about it. The location of today's video is of course the beautiful Central Park, one of my most favorite places in the whole world. During this video, I'm going to be walking around the park. If we find a shady spot, then we're going to stop and relax a little bit because it is hot today. It is Friday, it is 12:23 and it is 90 degrees today. Not too many bikers and runners right now because it is so hot. I don't know how people run in the afternoon. Got to do it in the morning or the evening. Quick disclaimer about today's video. This is completely my opinion from my own experience. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. It's all right. Life goes on. Don't take it too seriously. And just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, okay? So it's just my opinion. Let's take a walk through the sheep meadow. I am a Londoner in New York, so I feel like I have some experience about this topic. And I've been here for a long time. I've been here over a month now, and I know how Londoners act and I know how New Yorkers act. And the second disclaimer, this video is about the people in those cities. It's not about the cities themselves. And there is a video coming very soon where I talk about the specific differences between the two cities, but this is just about the people. Check out the sheep meadow. It's a huge, big open space in the middle of the park. And I feel like people that haven't been here before, they don't realize how big Central Park is. It is massive. It is so big. Also, while you watch this video, think about your own experience and your own opinion when it comes to New Yorkers and Londoners. I would love to know. Please write me a comment. If you agree with me, it's okay. If you don't agree with me, it's also okay. Check out that view. Wow, I'd love to come back in like 50 years to see what the skyline looks like. I definitely feel like they're going to build some more tall buildings. I have no idea who lives at the top of those buildings. Anyway, hit subscribe before we begin. Let's talk about Londoners versus New Yorkers. The first talking point is conversation style. New Yorkers, they're very, very direct and they're very to the point. They don't want little chit chat when you go to a restaurant or you go into a store. They don't care how your day is. They're not going to ask you how you are. But if you go to London, there's a little bit of chit chat. They might not care how your day's going. They might not care how you are, but they're still going to ask you. They're going to say, what are you up to today? Oh, did you need help with anything? New Yorkers, no. They will literally check you out and then goodbye. They don't like small talk. Don't really know where I'm going. Don't have a route. Just going to walk, just see what we find. There is so much to discover in the park. I want to talk about it more later, but I did hear a quote and it said, New Yorkers are not rude, they're just in a rush. I don't agree with this. I definitely don't agree with this because you can go into a store with nobody else in it and they still won't have small talk with you. Whereas British people, we like to have a little bit of banter, It is a beautiful day today. And Central Park is beautiful. They take such good care of it. I wish they took more care of the city because the city is very dirty and they need to clean it up. But Central Park is so nice. The next talking point is public transport etiquette. People on the London Underground are very different to the people on the New York subway. And the first point is, on the New York subway, it is going to be extremely loud. Every single carriage will have somebody playing very loud music, someone having a loud conversation on the phone, and it is likely that strangers are going to speak to you on the New York subway. This is highly unlikely on the London Underground, just because people don't want to come across rude on the London Underground. And there is a no eye contact rule in both of them, but for different reasons. The reason that people don't look at each other on the New York subway is because they don't want to cause trouble. They don't want to look at the wrong person. They don't want to look at a crazy person and then they're going to start a conversation. So I can sympathize with New Yorkers about not making eye contact with strangers just because you don't know if they're crazy or not. But in London, people don't make eye contact because they don't want to seem rude. They don't want to seem, oh, that guy's staring at me, that guy's looking at me. Why? It's a very, very different situation. Currently walking down a pedestrian street called the Mall. It's a very, very lively area. See people playing music. Going to see market stalls, and it looks like there's a show going on over here. I had no idea this was happening. Don't really know what's going on, but let's find out. Like I said, riding the subway and the London Underground is a very different experience, and I definitely keep my head down when I ride the New York subway, just because there are so many crazy people on there and I don't want to look at the wrong person, and it can get pretty frustrating with someone right next to you having an extremely loud conversation. But yeah, people in London, they don't want to lose face. They don't want other people to think they're rude, whereas New Yorkers, they don't care.
That was too easy. Now we need all you guys to make one straight line behind the. It's
like a group of break dancers. You see so many of them in Times Square. I have no idea that they do the shows here too. I don't like them, just because they're extremely cheesy and it takes them so long to do the show. They're always like applause, applause, applause. Hot dogs, get your hot dogs. If you're wondering, one hot dog in Central Park, $4. Check out this view. That is the Bethesda Fountain. And every single time I come here, I have to mention Home Alone, because this is where Kevin McAllister runs away from the sticky bandits. You can see the fountain in the movie. Our second talking point is their attitude towards strangers. They act very, very differently towards tourists and towards strangers. I think it's very likely in New York City that a stranger will speak to you. They might say nice shoes, nice hair, they might say something crazy, but it's likely that random people will start talking to you. In London, it doesn't really happen. Like, it's very unlikely that someone is going to give you a random compliment in the street, and it's very unlikely that someone random would just start speaking to you. Unless, of course, they're trying to scam you, they're trying to do something bad. But yeah, small talk with strangers doesn't really happen. And if I come this side of the fountain, again, you can get a very nice view of the skyline. This is a really, really cool area. I love coming to the Bethesda Fountain. Check that out. Pretty cool. And you can come this way and you can see the lake. That is literally what this lake is called. It is called the lake. See the turtles. Row your boat gently down the stream. It's so green. Why is it so green? Look at that. Green lake. Saying goodbye to the Bethesda Fountain, we're going to head to the best bridge in Central Park. Going back to Londoners and New Yorkers' attitude towards strangers for a second. I'm going to contradict myself, because it is more likely in New York for a stranger to speak to you than in London. But I think if you fall down or something like that, I think people in London are a lot more likely to help you than people in New York. That is my honest opinion. I'd rather fall down in London than in New York. Oh, this shade feels amazing. I know there's somebody out there that knows exactly where I'm heading to. Man, before we go to the bridge, let me get a little bit of shade. Extremely hot today. Our next talking point is something that I feel like people don't think about, and that is the attitude of the police officers. Now, whenever I need help with anything, I need to ask directions, I need to ask a question, the first people I look for is police officers, because they are the friendly ones. They're the ones that should be looking out for people, and they should be friendly. Of course, if they're busy, then I'm not going to bother them, but I like to find police officers if I need to ask them a question, because I know they're not going to scam me. I know they're going to try and help me if they can. But they act very differently in London and in New York. I feel like the police officers in New York City, they're always on guard, which they should be, but I think because of there's so many crazy people here, they're definitely on guard every single time someone speaks to them. So whenever I walk up to a police officer, I'm always like, hey, just asking a question. I'm like, I'm not a threat. Like, I'm a good guy. I'm just a tourist asking a question. Whereas in London, I feel like the police are a lot more approachable. Of course, again, if they're not busy, they're a lot more approachable. They're going to try and have a conversation with you. They're going to say, oh, where are you visiting from? Like, have you been to Buckingham Palace? Like, things like that. I feel like the police are definitely more open and more approachable in London than in New York City. But I understand why, just because there's so many crazy people here and they have to be on guard. I do think that this point goes together with the no small talk. Like, even the police officers, they don't want small talk. They're just going to answer the question and then move on, like, get away from me. Whereas the Londoners, they like to have a little bit of a chit chat, a little bit of banter. Of course, this is Bow Bridge. There's a lot of people here. Let's see if we get lost. This area is called called the Ramble, and it's like a maze. You feel like you're in the wilderness. So many twists and turns, so many decisions to make left or right. Let's see if we get lost. I would not want to get lost here at night. Let's go this way. Our next talking point is the pace of life. The pace of life in London and New York City. I'm sure there's a lot of people that think it's the same. Everybody's in a rush and everybody's so busy. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, but it's a little bit different. Every single person in New York City is in a rush. Everybody's on their phone. Nobody is, like I just said, they're not rude. People are just in a rush. I don't agree with that. I think everybody has time to be polite, and people choose not to. And it's kind of sad, just because it's nice to have a little bit of chit chat with strangers. You don't have to stand there for 5 minutes talking to them, but it's nice to have a little bit of chit chat. But every single person in New York City is in a rush. Londoners are in a rush too, but we still have etiquette. We still have some politeness. And one of the biggest examples that I can give is New Yorkers. They're so happy to run for the subway and shout, wait, hold the door. And Londoners, I feel like we don't really do that, just because if we miss it, it's kind of a little bit embarrassing. So we don't want to lose face if we run for the bus, run for the train, and then miss it. So I feel like a lot of Londoners will just accept their fate. If I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. Whereas New Yorkers, they will literally shout like, wait for me. And if they miss it, like, nobody cares. So yeah, the pace of life is both extremely busy, both extremely high-paced cities, but a little bit different, different attitude to the craziness. Someone told me that even when New Yorkers are going out to get milk, then they're still going to be in a rush. They're still going to be going 100 miles an hour, even if they're just going to the store, not even anywhere important. And it's definitely true. And I do think that slow walkers are a big problem in New York City. Like, people will literally shout at tourists for walking slow. They will literally say, get out the way. They will literally say, hurry up. And never seen it happen in London. And I feel like people just accept it. People can be annoyed, but they don't voice their opinion about slow walkers. But in New York City, someone is 100% going to say, get out the way. By the way, this is the spot that I found. No idea where I am. Lost in the Ramble somewhere. Very, very peaceful. Our next talking point is we have to talk about tea versus coffee. Extremely different things. And I have no idea how big the coffee business is in New York City, but damn Daniel, every single person in the morning has iced coffee. It must be like a billion dollar business, because everybody has iced coffee in the morning. It's craziness. Can you hear that plane? Trying to talk about tea and coffee here. And in London, people do drink coffee, but someone said to me recently, is it true or is it a myth that people in England drink tea every single day? And it's absolutely true. It's not a stereotype, it's not a myth. People do wake up every single day and they drink tea. But people don't usually go out for tea. Like, people make it at home. And this is something that surprises me a lot. It's crazy to me that people spend $10 every single day on their favorite coffee when you can make it at home for like 10 cents. It's crazy to me because it's so expensive. Like, coffee has become so expensive, but people need it. Like, people cannot function without their coffee in the morning. But it is completely true that British people do wake up and have tea every single day, but we don't go out for it. We make it at home. Another thing about tea and coffee is it is completely normal to ask someone on a date, like a coffee date. No one is ever going to ask you, hey, do you want to come on a tea date? We don't do that. That is definitely not a thing, because usually we have tea in the morning when we wake up, and then we have one at maybe lunchtime, and then a lot of people have it before they go to bed as well. So it's not really a date thing. Like, nobody says, do you want to come on a tea date? But if you want to go on a coffee date, it's completely normal. And people do just assume that every single British person loves tea, because people have asked me, do you want to go for coffee? Oh, you can get tea if you want to. It's like, wow, I like coffee too. Let's keep walking a little bit, see what we can discover. I would never do it, but I would love to see the Ramble at like midnight when it's dark. I bet it's a very, very different place. And if you're wondering how to make the perfect cup of tea, so you get your mug, tea bag goes inside, and for me, now sugar goes inside. So tea bag and sugar inside the mug, then you pour the boiling water on it, then you mix it up a little bit, then you add milk, then you mix it up again, you take the tea bag out, and that is a perfect cup of tea. 2 sugars, please. It's got to have sugar and it's got to have milk. I don't know how people drink black tea. Black coffee is okay, but yeah, got to add sugar, got to add milk. Look what I just found. Got a little hut. This is cool. Oh my god, you see that rat? I don't know if you can see that, but that is a massive rat. You see him? Damn Daniel, he's huge. He's running away. There he goes. He's gone. He's gone. Man, this is cool. There's so many things like this in Central Park. Like, they all have names and stuff, but there's so many random like huts and stuff. Maybe I'll do a video one day like random things in Central Park. Like I said, these things usually have names, but I just looked at the map. It doesn't have a name. So it's Ben's hut. Let's call it Ben's hut. Let's all agree. Let's keep walking. Our next talking point is fashion. I feel like New York City is one of the most diverse cities in the world when it comes to different kinds of people, because you can be absolutely anything you want to be in New York City. I feel like nobody even looks at you, nobody cares what you wear, and maybe people will judge you, but they won't voice their opinion, which is from my own experience. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's just from what I've seen. But London, I feel like if you're just a crazy way, then someone is probably going to say something to you. I mean, they're definitely going to judge you, but they're more likely to say something out loud to you if they don't agree with what you say, or maybe if you wear something a little bit alternative. But yeah, New York City, you can be absolutely anything you want to be. You can wear whatever you want to, and I feel like nobody's going to look at you just because there's someone 10 seconds down the street that's wearing something crazy as well. So be whatever you want to be. I think we're coming to a bridge here. I think I can hear a waterfall. Maybe a small one. Definitely see water flowing down there. Man, the park is so much bigger than people realize. Let's go off the beaten track. Parks like this in major cities, they're so important just because there's a billion people out there if you step outside the park, but inside here it's so peaceful, so quiet, and it's very important that people get some peace and quiet in busy cities, definitely. It is so nice in here just because you're in the shade, you're covered by the trees, and I think we found our next chill spot. Let's take a seat. Brave to our future memories. Our next talking point is queuing etiquette. I'm going to break a stereotype here because for some reason people think that British people, we absolutely love to queue. It is not true at all. We just respect the queue. We don't love it. We hate it just like everybody else. But we understand there is etiquette, there is rules. You need to be polite. It's first come, first serve. So it's not that the fact that we love queuing. We don't. But we respect the rules. And if you come here, it is definitely not the same. Just because sometimes it feels like it's a free-for-all. People do whatever they want. People think if they shout, they're going to get to the front quicker. If they push, they're going to get to the front quicker. That's not how it works. You're just going to make it worse for everybody. But yeah, people here, they don't like to queue. They like to look out for themselves. They like to get to the front, and they don't care about anybody else. It's kind of sad because you need to have etiquette. And the last point about queuing, if you cut the line in London, people will 100% call you out. They will say, get out. They will say, you need to wait. They will say, go to the back of the line. I feel like here, people will still shout, but I think they're less likely to do that just because maybe something bad is going to happen, but people will definitely call you out for cutting a line in London. We don't do that. One last point, which is of course a big difference between Londoners and New Yorkers, is one of us has a funny accent. You think it's me and I think it's you. But there is a big difference because for some reason, Americans, they think British accents sound cool. But British people think American accents sound not so cool. I don't know if Americans knew this, but it's definitely a different reaction. British people hear an American accent and American hearing a British accent. And I don't know if you ever noticed, but if you watch a movie, usually the bad guy, the villain, it will be a British guy. Like he will have a British accent. Maybe it's like I don't really know what the word is, but the British accent is kind of we're sophisticated. So you Americans, be aware. Because from my memory, I've honestly never had anybody make fun of my British accent here. But if Americans go to the UK, go to London, I think someone would definitely make fun of your accent. But I've never had it happen to me. Please tell me your honest opinion. And I know people have watched my videos for a long time, like over a year, and they've heard my accent a lot. But if you're new, if you've just started watching my videos, like, do I sound British to you? Like, tell me the honest truth, because this is something that I literally have to explain to people. Like, I'm 100% British, but some people, like, in my head, I sound British. Like, I don't sound like Harry Potter, but still, like, I sound completely British to me, but some people, they don't get it. By the way, of course I know that I sound a little bit different. I know that some people don't think that I sound 100% British. Of course I know that, and there is a reason for it. I will explain one day. Today is not the day, but there is a reason for it. And of course, I know. I don't agree with it because I think I sound 100% British. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. I really enjoyed filming this one because I think it's interesting to talk about the differences between these major cities, because people just assume that it's the same, and it's definitely not. There are so many differences between London and New York, and you can pick out any major city in the world and compare it to another major city. Of course, there's going to be differences between the place and the people, but that's my opinion about Londoners and New Yorkers. Please let me know what you think. Hit the like if you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos from a Londoner in New York. So many fun videos coming up, so many great plans. Thanks for watching this one. Have a great day. See you next time. Goodbye.